D, or prana at a point between the shoulder blades. 2. With the fires of mind at a point at the very top of the spine, in the center of the back part of the throat. 3. With the fire of spirit at the point where these two united fires of matter and of mind issue from the top of the head. See, each of the three channels within the spinal column have for specific purpose the blending of these threefold fires. We need to bear in mind that the fires circulate, and that, at the moment of achievement, every triangle in the body is vivified, every center is fully functioning, and a threefold path of fire can be seen extending the entire length of the backbone. D. When Kundalini has blended with the pranic fire, the centers become three-dimensional. When it blends with mind or solar fire and the two fires are perfectly united, the centers become fourth-dimensional. When it blends with the electric fire of pure spirit after the third initiation, they take on two more dimensions. Kundalini, as it is aroused, steadily increases the vibratory action, not only of the centers, but of every atom of matter in all the bodies, etheric, astral and mental. This quickening of activity has a dual effect of great interest. 1. It causes the elimination of all matter that is coarse and unsuitable, and casts it off in exactly the same way as a rapidly rotating wheel casts off or rejects from its surface. 2. It sweeps into its sphere of influence matter that is keyed to its own vibration, and builds it into its vibratory content. This is but a reflection of the action of the Logos in sweeping into differentiation the matter of the solar system. Kundalini is likewise the fire or force of matter, and therefore the life of the third Logos. Kundalini has two effects upon the etheric web, as it is called. 1. By its gradually increasing action it purifies that etheric form, and cleanses it from dross, as the Christian expresses it. 2. Eventually, after the two fires of matter and the fire of mind have begun to blend, a slow and gradual process, the web itself is destroyed, and by the time the third initiation is reached, the man should have continuity of consciousness. This is so unless for certain work and for certain specific ends, the man consciously and willingly forgoes the burning of the web, a thing which can be brought about by the conscious action of the will. 4. The centers and the senses, normal and supernormal. Before at all dealing with the centers and their relationship to the senses, it will be necessary first of all to point out certain facts of interest in connection with those senses. 8179 The seven senses or the avenues of perception. S. D. I. 489, 490, the third or Indriya creation. S. D. I. 567. Indriya, the control of the senses in yoga practice. These are the 10 external agents. The 5 senses which are used for perception are called Jnanendriya, and the 5 used for action Karmendriya. Theosophical Glossary. Jnanendriyas, literally knowledge senses, by which knowledge is obtained. They are the avenues inward. Karmendriyas, literally action senses, those producing action. They are the avenues outwards. Study in Consciousness, pp. 166-167. 1. Sensation is latent in every atom of substance. S. D. I. 710. 2. The sun is the heart of the system, and sensation emanates from there. It is due to solar radiation. S. D. I. 590, 662. 3. Knowledge is the end of sense. S. D. I. 300. 4. There is a double set of senses, spiritual and material. S. D. I. 582. S. D. I. 307, 308. This finds its reflection in the double set of physical senses, noted in defining the Indriyas. 5. The senses might be enumerated as follows. SDI 583 and Note 123. SDI 600, 674, 675, 676. 6. The elements are the progenitors of the senses. S. D. I. 112, 113. A. Ether hearing sound atmic plane B. Air touch sound, touch buddhic plane C. Fire sight sound, Dutch, sight mental plane D. Water taste sound, Dutch, sight, taste astral plane E. Earth smell sound, Dutch, sight, taste, smell physical plane 7. Every sense pervades every other sense. S. D. I. 569. There is no universal order. All are on all planes. S. D. I. 550. 8. The senses correspond with every other septenate in nature. CSD I 448. Compare SD I, 497. Practical reading. S. D. I 28,879 and so clear the ground for further information. What are the senses? How many are there? And what is their connection with the indwelling man, the thinker, the divine Manasaputra? These are questions of vital moment, and in their due comprehension comes the ability wisely to follow the path of knowledge. The senses might be defined as those organs whereby man becomes aware of his surroundings. We should perhaps express them not so much as organs, for after all, an organ is a material form, existent for a purpose, but as media whereby the thinker comes in contact with his environment. They are the means whereby he makes investigation on the plane of the gross physical, for instance. The means whereby he buys his experience, whereby he discovers that which he requires to know, whereby he becomes aware, and whereby he expands his consciousness. We are dealing here with the five senses, as used by the human being. In the animal these five senses exist, but, as the thinking correlating faculty is lacking, as the relation between the self and the not-self is but little developed, we will not concern ourselves with them at this juncture. The senses in the animal kingdom are group faculty, and demonstrate as racial instinct. The senses in man are his individual asset, and demonstrate A. as the separate realization of self-consciousness. B. as ability to assert that individualism. C. as a valuable means to self-conscious evolution. D. as a source of knowledge. E. as the transmuting faculty towards the close of life in the three worlds. As we know, the senses are five in number and in order of development are as follows. A. Hearing. B. Touch. C. Sight. D. Taste. E. Smell. Each of these five senses has a definite connection with one or other plane, and has also a correspondence on all planes. Let us first take up each of these senses, point out some interesting facts in connection with them, and suggest their subplane correspondence. Plane sense 1. Physical hearing. 2. Astral touch or feeling. 3. Mental sight. 4. Buddhic taste. 5. Atmic smell. In the two lower planes in the three worlds, the astral and the physical, the five subplanes of human endeavor are the five highest. The two lowest subplanes, the sixth and seventh, are what we might express as below the threshold, and concern forms of life beneath the human altogether. We have a corroborating analogy in the fact that the two earliest root races in this round are not definitely human, and that it is the third root race which is really human for the first time. Counting, therefore, from the bottom upwards, it is only the third subplane on the physical and the astral planes which mark the commencement of human effort, leaving 5 subplanes to be subdued. On the mental plane, the 5 lower subplanes have to be subjugated during purely human evolution. When the consciousness is centered on the 5th subplane, counting from below upwards, then the planes of abstraction from the standpoint of man in the 3 worlds supervene the 2 subplanes of synthesis, demonstrating through the synthesis of the 5 senses. In the evolution of the heavenly man we have exactly the same thing. The 5 planes of endeavor, the 5 lower planes of the solar system, and the 2 higher planes of abstraction, the spiritual or monadic, and the divine, or logoic. Microcosmic sensory evolution plane physical. 1. Hearing 5th gaseous 2. Touch, feeling 40th IRSD etheric 3. Sight 3RD super etheric 4. Taste 2nd subatomic 5. Smell 1st atomic astral. 1. Clairaudience 5th 2. Psychometry 4th 3. Clairvoyance 3rd 4. Imagination 2nd 5. Emotional idealism 1st mental. 1. Higher clairaudience 7th form 2. Planetary psychometry 6th form 3. Higher clairvoyance 5th form 4. Discrimination 4th form 5. Spiritual discernment 3rd formless response to group vibration 2nd formless spiritual telepathy 1st formless Buddhic. 1. Comprehension 7th 2. Healing 6th 3. Divine vision 5th 4. Intuition 4th 5. Idealism 3rd atmic. 1. Beatitude 7th 2. Active service 6th 3. Realization 5th 4. Perfection 4th 5. All knowledge 30. It can be noted that we have not summed up the 2 planes of abstraction on the atmic and the Buddhic planes, the reason being that they mark a degree of realization which is the property of initiates of higher degree than that of the adept, and which is beyond the concept of the evolving human unit, for whom this treatise is written. We might here, for the sake of clarity, tabulate the 5 different aspects of the 5 senses on the 5 planes, so that their correspondences may be readily visualized, using the above table as the basis. A. The first sense. Hearing. 1. Physical hearing. 2. Clairaudience. 3. Higher clairaudience. 4. Comprehension of 4 sounds. 5. Beatitude. B. The second sense. Touch or feeling. 1. Physical touch. 2. Psychometry. 3. Planetary psychometry. 4. Healing. 5. Active service. See the third sense. Sight. 1. Physical sight. 2. Clairvoyance. 3. Higher clairvoyance. 4. Divine vision. 5. Realization. D. The fourth sense. Taste. 1. Physical taste. 2.